everybody. Sounded real perky there. Um, Quote time. Still got it. Follow the voice of your heart, even if it leads you off the path of timid souls. I think there's definitely some well intended and useful advice to be taken from this quote. We have to learn to trust ourselves in life. To follow our instincts. To lead with love rather than logic. Our creativity, our imagination, to approach others with love, to approach ourselves with love. Love and kindness are kind of paramount in our existence. Although we don't always act that way. And when it talks about following your heart, even if it leads you off the path of timid souls, it's talking about taking risks, ventures, adventures, following your passions, goals, and dreams, even if they seem a little obscure, eccentric, strange, unacceptable, or people literally tell you you can't do that. It's not possible for you. You're not capable enough. You shouldn't be with that person. You're not good enough. Or you want to be a musician instead of go to school, and that's your heart's passion. If you're young enough and you're untied down and you're willing to take that risk, follow it. Or a poet. There are a lot of things you can be in this life. A lot of things you can do with this life. And at some point you need to learn to trust your own heart, soul, instinct. What fills you up. What makes you smile, what brings you joy. In the things that you choose, you pursue, you go after, you do, you fill your days and your times with. Even if people think you want to be a comedian, and people laugh at that idea rather than laughing at your jokes, but it's in your heart to do that thing. Follow your heart. However, although we should always lead with love, approach with love, ourselves, each other, the planet, our dreams, our passions, our hopes, our endeavors, some place in yourself, whether you call it your heart, whether you call it your soul, whether you call it your instinct, that still small voice inside of you knows what you truly want. And you should trust yourself enough to include in your life and seek and try in your life those things that your soul longs for. Regardless if they're offbeat, if you're marching to a different drummer, we're all unique. A lot of people don't march to their own drummer because they're afraid of what other people will think of them, or other people tell them it's silly, it's foolish, or you cannot. And so they don't. But I do have a word of caution with this quote, given the channel that I operate. Lead with your heart. Follow your heart. But take your brain with you. When it comes to your relationships, especially early on in relationships, there is a neurochemical thing that is occurring where we are literally high like we're high on drugs. And you may be experiencing a neurochemical reaction of intoxicating pleasure rather than really what your heart wants. You're intoxicated and delusional, and people are not trying to steer you away from your heart by steering you away from this relationship. They're trying to save you because you're blinded to all the red flags of danger, of a bad person, that you are too blinded by the love chemicals in your brain surging through your body and brain to recognize, to register until it's too late. And people with affective issues, emotional issues, emotional instabilities, traumatic histories, have a tendency to be led by their emotions anyway. Following your heart doesn't mean following your emotions. You can't constantly, blindly follow your heart. Every which way, up, down, left, right, and sideways, changing its own mind every 2 seconds, every 2 days, every 2 months, whatever your cycle is based on triggers that are irrelevant. We don't want to deconstruct and ignore everything I've said on this channel prior to this video about mastering your internal states and learning to incorporate realistic perception, question your emotions, the validity, get the information, validate them, but use wisdom in what you are doing and the wisdom of others in what you are doing. So yes, follow your heart in life. If you want a full heart, you have to follow your heart. You have to fill your cup up. With those things that fill your cup up, your family, painting, drawing, singing, poetry, like I said, doing stand-up if that's what you want to do. Literally joining the circus, being a tightrope walker, or trying to get into the ballet. Whatever that thing is, little or big, listen, it's pulling at you for a reason. It's tugging at you for a reason. But be sure to take some time to reflect. Don't act impulsively. Always, if you can help yourself. And analyze, where is this coming from? Is this really what my heart wants, or is this what I think do I think being artistic, it defines a good life, and so I'm following music or art because I want to fit a prototype that I believe I need to live up to? Or do you really want that? Or would that just leave you feeling empty so you can fit into some echelon of society you believe you want to fit into? Do you really want to join the circus, or do you just like to be extreme and you want to do something extreme and shocking to people? Do you really want to pursue music, or do you want to be famous because you want to be rich and popular? You really need to seek, is it really coming from your heart or coming from other things? Why do I want this? Am I really following my heart? Am I following my ego? Am I following some false expectation of what I think I have to be in life to be good enough, to fit some box, to be with some people, a certain type of person I need to be, or I've fallen short, a certain goal I need to have, or I've fallen short? Are you early into a relationship that's moving way, way, way too fast? And that's a sign right there that you need to step back and slow down, because typical relationships, healthy relationships, build up slowly. Occasionally you do have the quick head over heels love story that happens really fast. I've been with my partner for 10 years now, and from day one we started talking, we just never stopped. But it's reckless to do so, and I'm just fortunate. And believe me, both of us got, over time, slowly introduced to each other's crazy that we didn't know up front. I'm still a very lucky woman to be in the relationship that I'm in, and I value him and love him dearly. But fast-moving relationships are a sign that you need to step back, get some perspective, and get to know this person and see if there's some red flags. And don't just follow what you believe is your heart, because not every emotion is your heart. So basically, if there's something your soul needs, your inner self, whatever you want to call it, to feel full and complete in this life, that brings you joy, that makes you smile when you do it, or brings you joy when you think about it. Having a baby. Whatever. Do that thing. Try to do that thing. Because it's your life. And it's your heart that needs to be full. Even if it takes you off the beaten path and the accepted path, that is not their path to walk, it's yours. And you need to learn to trust yourself and your decisions, your desires, as good enough, valuable, and worthwhile, and your needs and wants and hopes as valid, good, and worthwhile, and yours, and you are allowed to have what you want to have them be, regardless of what others think. Even if it takes you off the path of timid souls. So, you want to be a poet laureate? Go climb Mount Everest? Not for me. Not for me. Want to juggle as a profession? You do that thing. Want to make bad YouTube videos that hardly anyone watches, that you yourself often reflect back on with a chagrin because it makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside and contributing, like you're doing something for this planet, you do that thing, regardless of what other people think. Follow your heart. Take your mind with you. Follow your heart, not your emotions. Don't make choices that are rash, impulsive, bad for you. Instant. Think, where is this drive coming from? What are my real motivations for pursuing this thing? And be critical, observatory, and aware of yourself along the way with your brain and your perceptions and your head on straight. When you follow your heart, take your brain. And if you beat your own drum, beat your own drum or something like that, I can't even talk anymore, then it's okay. In fact, it's better than okay, because it means that you're really being you, unequivocally, totally you, rather than trying to be something or do something you are not. And if you do it and you follow it and you try it with your head along with you for the right reasons, with others' disapproval or misgivings or thinking it's foolish, then it's a good exercise in beginning to trust your capacity to make choices for yourself in your life without needing outside validation or approval. If you're competent, capable, able to make choices and decisions and take action on them for your own fulfillment in life, in your life, without caving, feeling too incompetent, feeling silly or foolish for having thought of it, feeling not able, feeling embarrassed for bringing it up, feeling like you can't because they said you can't, feeling like you shouldn't because they said you shouldn't. That you are confident in yourself. Because you made your own choice. Despite what the others said. Fill the hole in your soul with healthy things that only you know what they are. But think first before you dive in. Keep thinking along the way. Fill your soul, not follow your emotions. Follow your heart, but take your mind with you. Follow the voice of your heart. Even if it leads you off the path of timid souls and into beginning to trust yourself. It's a twofer. You fill your cup and trust your own decisions. Big heart.